We have touched the topic we're not supposed to talk about.
She's allowed to insult me, criticize my abilities, criticize my hair, but she is not allowed to say that I did something that was criminally unlawful, something that has been adjudicated by multiple courts as absolutely positively not happening.
And welcome back to Square Off. An appeals court ruling last week will allow Maricopa County Recorder Stephen Richard's defamation lawsuit against Republican U.S. Senate candidate Kari Lake to go to trial. The appellate judges refused to entertain Lake's motion to dismiss. What does Lake do now? That was just one of the developments last week in the U.S. Senate race. We're back to discuss them with our political insiders. Democratic consultant Tony Cani of Slingshot Campaigns, Republican consultant Marcus Dell'Artino of First Strategic Communications and Public Affairs. You're Kari Lake running in the U.S. Senate campaign. What do you do now that you're facing a trial? She's has tried to avoid discovery and depositions. What should she do now?
Probably go on the offense. I mean, it's worked out pretty well for Trump. As the owner of the Trump store said in the newspaper the other day, every time he gets indicted, my sales go through the roof. And so I think that there's probably a strategy in there for Kari Lake.
Follow the Trump strategy, even through depositions, even through discovery of emails and text messages?
Her strategy is going to be to continue to attack Stephen Richer for the exact same things that he is suing her for. And it's wild. It doesn't make any sense. We've seen how these lawsuits have gone in other parts of the country. I think she's in real jeopardy here either way, but there's no way that she's going to be able to back off. There's all this news every once in a while how she's pivoting. She's going to be more of a rational candidate. No, she is going to continue to double down on the lies. She's not going to stop. She thinks it can help her raise money. And so it's just going to keep going.
Wow. Things have really changed. I know that sounds like incredibly naive, but I catch myself just about every day. We also got to look at Lake's first fundraising report around, we don't know who contributed, but she reported raising $2.1 million in the last 3 months of 2023. Democratic candidate Ruben Gallego said his campaign said he raised $3.3 million. Does that $2 million number surprise you? Is high, low?
No, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, what we're looking at nationally is a nationalization of elections. And with our current campaign finance laws, what is occurring is people from other states are contributing to competitive Senate campaigns to influence the outcome in the U.S. Senate. So what I actually expect to see in these reports is less and less Arizonans contributing to these campaigns and more New York, New Jersey, L.A., type of scenario.
And to that point, that was Joe Arpaio's thing back in the day, right? And he raised millions of dollars. Kari Lake is a national figure, much better known than Ruben Gallego, and she couldn't even beat his number.
Well, it's a challenge to raise money when you're flying off to Mar-a-Lago every couple of weeks or going to the Iowa State Fair or all these different things. She's campaigning for she lost the governor's race. She's campaigning for Senate in Arizona as though she's a presidential candidate, going all over the country. I think, the other issue is there's going to be a real limitation on the amount of sort of traditional Republican money that's going to be coming in the short term because of the folks who are hoping somebody else emerges, but no one will. And so I think her fundraising will pick up, coming into the summer.
Okay. We don't know about her Republican opponent in the primary, Sheriff Mark Lamb, or independent Senator Kyrsten Sinema. The deadline for reporting fundraising numbers is Monday. Lastly, a poll last week showed a dead heat between Lake and Gallego. She touted it as showing her in the lead. It was basically a 1-point lead in a poll with a larger margin of error. I know you have thoughts about that poll, Marcus.
I wouldn't even call it a poll. Okay. Had I commissioned this poll, I would literally sue these guys over this poll. That's how terrible this is. The demographics are wrong. The geography's wrong. Here's an example. We only polled people in Phoenix and Tucson. No other cities in Arizona we can find voters to poll, just Phoenix and Tucson. But my favorite part is, and this is what we traditionally call push poll, is we attack Kyrsten Sinema in question number 1 and then ask you how you would vote about Kyrsten Sinema shortly followed after. And the attack, here's the best part, is an attack that all the candidates are doing, including Kari Lake, including Ruben Gallego. This thing isn't worth the paper it's written on. And frankly, for Democrats, why you want to get Kyrsten Sinema out of the race when I think at the end of the day, the empirical evidence shows it helps Ruben Gallego is beyond me. So keep it up. It only helps Republicans.
Okay, got to end it there.
I have so much to say.
Gotcha.
Marcus Dell'Artino, Tony Cani, thanks so much for joining us. That's our show for this week. Thanks very much to all of our guests. Thank you so much for joining us. See you back here next weekend for another round of Sunday Square Off.